Welcome to the Via Stoica Podcast. I'm Benny, I'm your host, and today we're going to talk about a Stoic quote. We're going to look at one from Seneca, one of his letters to his friend, pal Lucilius. Again, whether he existed or whatever happened there, we don't know for sure, but he wrote some really interesting letters. And today, the one is titled On Old Age, which is something that we all deal with, right? With aging, we're all getting older. And I think that this one holds a punch. Again, if you want to subscribe to the podcast, please do so. It can help us reach more like-minded people. If you want to leave a comment, if you want to give us a rating, please do so as well. And the comments are important as well. If you have questions or you want us to address certain topics, please let us know because then we can look into that. And if you feel like someone else around you, your friends or family, could use this podcast, send it to them, share it to them. It would really be helpful. You can go to viastoica.com where you can subscribe to the newsletter. Pop-up will show up after a few seconds. Leave your email, and then every month you will get the pause, a moment of tranquility and reflection in your inbox. And no spam, just a few tips, a book tip, some reflection, nice little quote, and whatever. Feel free to do that as well. But let's dive into it because you're not here to listen to me ramble and promote everything. We're looking for the quotes. Today, again, as I said, it's from Seneca. It's from letter 12 to Lucilius. I'm using this lovely edition. You can't really see the cover. It's letters from a Stoic. It's a really nice hardback, but I've got another translation for you there as well. Let's go through it. Somewhere in the middle of the letter, it goes like this. How nice is it to have outworn one's desires and left them behind? We're going to look into that a little bit more. Let's look at another translation for you here because it's always nice to have. Although I like this one a lot because of some of the words that it uses, and we'll dive into that. In this other translation goes, comforting it is to have tired out one's appetites and to have done with them. Now, some people might think about this as like, wow, this is not a really good way to do it. And even like Seneca adds a retort to this as well. As, yeah, but this is very unpleasant to have to look at death right into one's eyes, right? And then he goes and follows up with that as like, yeah, but everybody should have death right in front of their eyes because, whether you're young or old, we don't know when it's going to happen. We should have it there. But if you do have the luck or the privilege to be old, to reach those ages which are not granted to everyone, then Seneca reflects on this, right? Because this is at his latest stages in his life. Just about, he wrote these letters about 3 or 4 years before he was ordered to commit suicide by his previous pupil, the Emperor Nero. And he's looking at this, right? He's seeing signs of old age everywhere. He feels the lack of certain desires that he used to have when he was a young Seneca, especially those, because he was very wealthy and he lives on the upper echelons of Roman society, pretty much the before highest, right? Because he was the senior advisor to the emperor. And he's looking at these things in life. He's going back to his estate. He's seeing all these things. He's like, wow, before this used to look different, and before I used to have all these desires. And instead of looking at it and thinking, well, wow, that's something really bad, he's looking at it as like, but this is giving me a lot more calm and peace. I'm not chasing those things as I used to be when I was a young Seneca. I'm not chasing them anymore. I don't feel that pressure. I don't feel that rush anymore. I can now enjoy the calm, the little things of life. And that's what he kind of does as he walks around and looks into his estate in Tuscany, and he's just going about things and looking at life and his previous home through a different set of eyes. Why? Because all of those, and this is physiological changes as well. It's normal, right? As we go older, our hormones change and everything, and the same needs and desires are no longer there, and they're usually diminished. And people say, oh, but maybe that's kind of reducing the greatness of life. But when we look at the Stoics, and especially when you look at Epictetus, right, he hammers on all of this. Don't let your desires and your wants drive you. Make sure that the most important thing as your moral choice, right, is to do the right thing. And some of these desires, especially when they're geared towards externals, they are taking us away from doing what we're supposed to be doing in life, the right thing. So, in fact, what Seneca is saying is that this will make it easier. In old age, it's going to be easier to live a virtuous life because those desires are no longer there, or maybe not as strong, and we've learned to better deal with them and give them the right place. And then we can reflect more, right? And use that wisdom, use the virtuous part in our reason and logic that we have been given far better, and we can observe life better for its wonders. So instead of thinking about old age, and mind me, I feel still very young, right? I'm still getting there, but you can sense as you get older at these things, and maybe some older people will say, but man, you don't know nothing. You're in your 40s, and that's it. And maybe when I'm maybe in 20, 30 years, I'll look back at this video if I'm fortunate enough to make it there, and look like, little did I know, right? But what I can see and what I can sense from this quote by Seneca is that yes, when those desires are when we are reaching a new stage in life, and instead of saying like, oh, I'm going down the hill, we can say, no, I'm just walking the same path, but in a different way. I'm looking at it through different eyes. I'm looking at it through a different mind, and there's beauty in that as well. Maybe I can impart my knowledge. Maybe I can just be a nice grounding block for those who needed some support. So he's really advocating for old age. If you are able to reach it, that there's still a lot of great things there. Maybe not the same um, energy in life or the same desire, but that's not a bad thing. That is just something new, and maybe even, again, as I said, something that will make it a little bit easier to live virtuous and to live a more calm and peaceful life. Um, so I'll read the quote one more time. I really like it. And again, if you have some comments, if you have some other thoughts about it, please let me know. But this is the one here. Seneca says in letter 12, sorry, that's to keep myself with the Roman numerals, letter 12, he says, how nice is it to have outworn one's desires and left them behind. So thank you very much for tuning in this week. Every Friday we have these Stoic quotes. On Tuesday we have a regular episode, so please make sure to tune in for those as well. And again, if you like these episodes, please let us know, leave a thumbs up, leave a like, whatever, and give us a nice rating and leave a comment if you want to. And if you want more quotes, you can go to viastoica.com where we have all the quotes ready for you. So thank you again for tuning in, for listening, and hopefully to see you in the next one.